Ready?
Folks, we are live. Get ready, get ready, get ready. DJ Dan with Soulful House Nation coming to you live from the 8th floor. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. You know, folks, before we get started, I just want to do a couple of things. I want to tell you that this is going to be super exciting because there's a whole new scene coming up in Florida, Jacksonville. Most of the time when people think of house music, they're not necessarily thinking of Jacksonville. But I'm going to introduce you to the people who are putting Jacksonville on the map heavy. All right, so here we go. All right, first, let me do a few little things here. I just want to tell you a little bit about some stuff that's going on. This week, as you see, we have our special guest here tonight. But next week, next Monday, we have DJ Ron DJ Cadillac coming on this Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be another one. They're making it happen out in Eastern PA. So you know what's exciting with this thing is that a lot of times we just think of certain places in terms of house music, but there's a whole nother thing going on here, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So it's super exciting. All right, so let's do this. We're going to do some intros here, and let's start off on the left with KGB. But before I do this, what I just want to tell you, just a little bit of fun stuff, is that the reason this happened here, I want to give my niece Joy a big shout out because she's the one who spotted KGB. And then KGB brought everybody else to the table. And what happens is a lot of people don't realize and don't see behind the scenes that, you know, maybe I'm on the front page, but you have all these people around me, the shy vets, who are constantly looking for opportunities, looking for situations. And so now they brought KGB to me, and then KGB brought everybody else to the table. So let's do it like this. Let's do the easy stuff first. Let's just get to meet everybody. We want to start off, again, KGB, you're in the corner there. We're just going to start off with you and get introduced to everybody. So here we go.
Hello, everyone. I'm KGB. KGB just happens to be my initials. It's really my my government name. It is Keith G. Benjamin, and I flipped that into my DJ name. So hello, everyone, and welcome to Soulful. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. I'm in the other corner, so we're gonna go clockwise. So Adomni.
Hey, hello, everybody. Good evening tonight. Thank you for joining. My name is Alex Dominguez, and my artist name is Adomni. It's also a take on my first and last name. And I currently live in St. Augustine, originally from Brooklyn, New York. And I made my transition from Jacksonville about 7 years ago. But most of the music, that's happening is definitely in Jacksonville. And I'm super excited to be here and to share our group and a little piece of us so that you are aware and, House Nation strong.
All right. Now, RED.
What up, everybody? My real name is Herman Orphy, but I go by DJ RED. RED stands for Real Everyday, because that's how I live. But of course, that's a whole nother story. I'm originally from Chicago. I live actually in Jacksonville. Been DJing for about almost 30 years. Been producing for about maybe 25 years. Just basically want to try to, bring a scene here to Jacksonville and, pretty much put us on the map. And this is my lovely fiance.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Dakisha, but everybody calls me Diamond. I am not a DJ. However, I am a promoter and party planner here in Jacksonville. Together, we are Red Diamond Promotions.
Fantastic. Now, KGB, we didn't hear anything about you. Tell us where you're from originally.
I'm originally from Flushing, Queens, New York, and I grew up during that golden hip hop era. So I got to ride the train into the city, the F train with LL Cool J, and see him perform. And before he became the mega star that he become. And I mean, I used to go to the venues. And actually, before I left New York, I was DJing. I started DJing when I was about 13, and I've been.
Wow.
I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but that's decades ago for sure. Um,
Wow.
so again, I grew up in Flushing, Queens, and I got to see that was the hip hop era when when they were rhyming over break beats and all that, and Wild Style, Fever, that era in New York City.
Okay.
So, and now I am in Jacksonville, Florida. I ended up joining the Navy, left New York City, joined the Navy, traveled the world, and spent about 23 years in the Navy, which was good.
Okay.
And that allowed me to see different places. And actually, I DJ'd the whole time I was in the military. So, I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But now I'm in Jacksonville, and I have, been here for I got here in '92.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, for quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Now, these are sort of like get to know you type questions, and we just want to kind of go around the room. And how did you guys get started with music? Let's start with Adomni.
Yeah, absolutely. So I used to DJ when I was in high school, and I just pretty much set up events from home, just any reason to celebrate a birthday just because it's Saturday. And always known for getting people together and putting music out. So we used to have a group of my boys from Brooklyn, and then I had boys from the city, Manhattan, and we would do events. So DJing for me was a lot of fun. We would put out the beatbox, and I remember my dad gave me my first set of tables. They were straight arm techniques. I had with the receiver and all that, and that just one thing led to another. So there were several years where we were big into breakdance and making music. I remember going to the local record shop every Friday, picking up a stack of records, and just going to my room and playing music. I would listen to each of the records individually just to kind of get it all in me, and then I would make tapes.
Okay.
And then after that, I would hit the handball court, and play some handball. So moving forward, 2012 for me was like it was like a fork in the road. I'm in public service, and so that could be really stressful, and I find like this is my way to release. This is my baby, my love, my passion. And so 2012 started DJing events. Next thing you know, I'm like, what? I want to play music that I really like. So I started thinking about making music. And one thing led to another, and I just can't get enough of it. So I have literally I have a glass door in my home studio with lists of songs that I need to finish, and just it seems like there's not enough time, but I love it, and and that's what I want to do. I'm fortunate to be with this group here because they're like my family, there's that connection, and so that's what we want to do.
All right. So RED, real every day, not every other day, because then it'll be REOD.
Hey, I don't OD now. Hey, nah, I don't OD.
Okay.
Trying to get you caught up here.
So, so again,
now
you're early. You started music early.
My early experience with music was I would have to go back to at least 1985.
Wow.
And yeah, I got like around 10 years old, Now, like, I know how your parents, they say, by 9 o'clock, you got to be in bed. But when the weekend comes, I can stay up late. So, I would go in the living room and I would, like turn on the radio and I just start hearing this music. It was upbeat. And at the time, I didn't know what it was. I just know it just sounded really good and it made me feel good. So, and then later on, of course, I found out that it was house music and everything. And so I was listening. So, like, I don't know if you're familiar with Chicago, the station WGCI and BMX. There's like legendary stations in Chicago.
Right.
And so DJs that had influenced me was like DJ Fast Eddie before he did Hip House. Mike Hitman Wilson, Julian Jumping Perez, Mario Smoking Diaz. I mean, the list goes on and on. But I know if I really had my way, I would say Julian Jumping Perez, Mike Hitman Wilson, and Fast Eddie. If I could book them, I don't care how old they are. I don't care if they don't. I want to book them if I could, because they were the ones that inspired me to really, want to DJ. And at the time, I didn't know. I mean, I've heard it, but I didn't know like what it was. So one day, I was in our grammar school, and these teenagers came up and they brought a table and they brought DJ equipment and everything. And they wasn't all that great, but it was just the fact that at the time I was like, wow, so this is how it's done. This is how they put music together. This is how they scratch and all that kind of stuff. And I say probably about 2 years later, that's when I started DJing. My first equipment, I wasn't fortunate like Adomni. I didn't start off on no techniques. I actually had some turntables from Radio Shack. This is back when Radio Shack used to sell turntables.
Preach, brother, preach.
I had some realistic turntables.
Okay,
it was funny because it was the ones that had the tone on was straight like this, and you couldn't pick it up and put on a needle. You had to push the button so it slide like this and slide like that, up and down like that. And it had a rotary pitch control, which was underneath the turntable that you had to roll. Yeah. It wasn't no +8, -8. You just had to roll and feel where it was. And I had that annoying mixer, the realistic mixer, console mixer, that every time you move it to the middle, it makes the click noise. I don't know if y'all know about that. And it was real tight. So you really couldn't, I mean, you could scratch, but it ain't loose like these turntables, like nowadays.
Right.
But so basically that's how I got into DJing. Moving forward, I kind of got to production, and I ain't gonna lie, I kind of dabbled with making hip hop beats here and there, stuff like that, with a little equipment that I did have.
All right, so hold on a minute. We're gonna talk about production. We're gonna go hard with production in a little bit. All right.
Okay,
So,
cool.
yeah, we're gonna go hard with that.
Okay, well, moving forward, I actually met people. I actually had the honor of meeting the great Paul Johnson, God rest his soul.
Sure.
And he actually helped me get 2 vinyl releases on the legendary label Dance Mania in Chicago. And even though I got paid a little bit for it, but it was just the fact of, I got a vinyl release.
Right.
So it actually kind of, felt good. And now it's funny because people are like, I remember this track. That's you, and I don't know. I guess I'm so quiet and so humble. I never, I'm not to brag about, I did this, that's just never me. And, it just feels good to know that even back then, people knew of my stuff. And even now I got people saying, hey man, you ought to re-release it, which is, I'm still thinking about. She's kind of pulling my chain on that. I might just do that. But all in all, I mean, that's pretty much, my story. I mean, I lived in Atlanta for a while, and DJ'd a little bit there. I lived there for 10 years. And I don't know, I just got my parents got a little bit tired of Atlanta, so I decided to come to Jacksonville, not knowing what I was getting myself into, because I was like, does Jacksonville even have house music? But met one person, one thing led to another, and I met other people, and that's kind of how I got known into in Jacksonville. But at the time, I wasn't really DJing as much until my promoter just came along. But that's I had to let her tell that story.
Okay.
So, but,
all right.
Yeah,
well,
you get to that later. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what about this? All right. Okay. In terms of getting into house music, who were some of your favorite artists from back in the day and stuff that you're listening to now? Who are some of the people? Let's start with KGB on this one here.
Okay, well, back in the day, some of my favorite DJs or artists, I got a chance to go to the Paradise Garage in New York.
Oh,
Back
yes.
back then, I got to see Colonel Abrams. I got to see Serious Intention.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I got to.
And believe it or not, they had other music besides that one song everybody
I know.
knows. Some of my favorite artists. Let me see. Some of my favorite DJs along with that from that era. I don't know if you ever heard of Reggie Wells.
Sure, of course.
Yes,
Of
Reggie
course.
Reggie Wells is pretty much. I actually got to play with Reggie Wells, and he's the one that really probably influenced me the most back then. And it's just the way he did his mixes, and to this day, I still kind of do the same thing that he used to do back then. And when I mean by that, I mean I try to do my long blends. I mean, I'll do 2-minute mix in a minute, but that came from back then, mixed in Jam on It, the instrumental with some R&B joint, so yeah, so I've been doing that for forever. But of course, back then from that era, I'm trying to think, Marley Marl, the hip hop was a big thing in New York.
Yeah,
but,
MC Sham.
but little to be known, Marley Marl plays house music.
Yes, he does.
Yes,
He
and
does.
that's what I remember, because he's from Queens. He's from Queensbridge. I was from Flushing, and I got to hear him spin a couple of times. So yeah, that's probably the biggest influence for me back then.
All right, so let me just jump in a minute. Let me tell you, well, two things. Number one, I met Marley Marl. He did a thing. There's a gentleman by the name of Frank, was doing stuff at his shop, and Marley Marl came in and he played house. And I said, okay. And then I've heard him say that, he loves to play house. Let me just give you my Jam on It story, if I may. Okay. So this is going back, obviously, a few years ago. And I was a child at the time. Anyway, so I'm playing in this bar, and it's kind of like was on the divish side, but it was like, but I played, like, for me, I played in a lot of white joints as well as black joints. So this young lady, young white lady, comes in. She says, "Can you play Jamoni?" I said, "What?" She said, "Jamoni." I said, I'm pretty up to date on music, but I don't know that. But Jamoni. Oh, you know about Jam on It. I said, okay now. So anyway, those are some things that you don't forget along the way. All right. Let's see. Does everybody know Momo? Because if you don't, you should. Momo is like, she's okay, I'm gonna tell you straight up. If you were in the class with her, she was the class clown. There, I said it.
Well,
all right.
Momo.
Yes. Yes.
She and I have connected just online.
Yeah.
Turns out she's from Jamaica, Queens. I'm from Flushing, Queens.
Okay. So
we communicated. I've gotten drops for her. I have some other things in the works. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to connect on them.
Okay.
But she's my sister from Queens.
Got you.
We communicate online, and then I do live streams. She'll pop in, and be popping jokes. As soon as she enters the room, the energy level in the room goes up a notch.
Absolutely.
It always happens that way.
Absolutely. I love Momo.
Yeah, we all do. We all do. Yeah, she's a beautiful person.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go around the room. Let's kind of finish that little thought there in terms of favorite artists, and finish that. And then we're going to start to go a little bit deeper.
Okay. And you were mainly referring to classic artists, because I got
classics or today's stuff.
Well, there's
stuff you're listening to.
There's a couple of producers I would mention. Like there's a young producer who's putting out a lot of hot music. His name is Conway Casey.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely.
I have
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Conway. I mean, and if you listen to Soulful House, you got to know DJ Spin. Everybody knows Spin. Come on, man.
Of course.
Right,
of course.
Yeah, but those are some of mine. Let's next to Adomni and Red, who are some of their favorites.
Well, I
Oh.
will say I was blessed to have interviewed both of them. So
Oh,
that
wow.
was like incredible, right? And of course, Hard to Love, forget about it. You got to play that when you're at a
Yes.
Soulful House event, Anyway, great choices. Okay. So RED.
Mm-hmm. Me, huh? It's so many. From back in the day. Jamie Principle, Frankie Knuckles.
Frankie Knuckles.
Ooh, oh man. Of course, Fast Eddie, Mike Hitman Wilson, Gene Hunt. Okay, it's plenty more from back then, but I'm gonna speed it forward. Now I would say I'm a big fan of Block and Crown.
Me
My
too.
boy DJ Eclipse, he's like a brother to me. Yeah. Let me see. I like Joski. He's more of a harder style. DJ Span, of course. On the social side, yeah, yeah. Well, with Glitter Bar, that's a label actually.
Well, yeah.
But the Shapeshifters. Yeah, definitely love them. Yeah, because my I don't know. Of course, I'm not really just soulful. I'm kind of all over the world, with different subgenres of house. So it ranges from playing places. Oh yeah, and RED, yeah, he's pretty good. He ain't made nothing lately. He's pretty good.
Okay, I heard about it.
He's high,
Play his tracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
That boy good.
Adomni. You know what? I got a comment in here. I don't know if I should read it. Should I read it or should I read it? Okay. This is on RED. So Momo says here, he said, kind of look like Wesley Snipes a little bit.
I get that a lot.
You get that a lot.
I get that a lot.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Wesley Snipes, Eddie Murphy, Jeffrey Osborne.
Yeah, I can see that.
Someone even stretched said Lil Lewis. I've heard it, so
okay.
I'm good with that. It's probably the hat. So yeah.
Okay, I'm sure that's what it is. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm having a bad bald head day, so I'm wearing the hat.
Okay.
You know what? We'll deal with that later.
Adomni.
Yeah, so some people say I look like Colonel Powell, rest his soul.
Okay. All right.
And I want to say about Red that, Red's got a lot of music, but he don't play his music. I always got to get on him to
He's right.
Play your music. You got to play your music.
You're right. Sometimes as an artist, you like your music, but you listen to it so much when you're producing, it's like,
yeah, but people don't know. You know what I'm saying? People, they're like, hey, wait, I like that song. Yeah, that's my track. You got to, let people know that's you.
I don't let people know. I just play it. And if someone come to me and say, hey, that track is dope, then I say, yes, me. But I never like to say, hey, dude, I made that track right there. That's pretty cool. I let people come to me. That's how I know if my track is hot or not. If they don't say nothing, I'm like, okay, cool. That's just my opinion, though.
All right. So artists for me, my DJ experiences started out in Coney Island when my dad used to take me, and I used to see these DJs playing outside, and man, that left an impact for me. Just that vision, But I was fortunate enough to be around the clubs, Underground, 1018. It was just a lot of clubs to pick from. But if I had to think about my classics, Louis Vega was one of the big ones for me.
Sure.
And he had his hand in so much when it came to club music, freestyle. He's just a genius.
I agree.
And I was very fortunate to be where I was, and listening to the music because of my palette today, my taste palette. I used to listen to heavy metal music. That was wow. But
all right.
Louis Vega, D-Light, Black Box, Jungle Brothers. There's just so many to pick. And if we think about music today, we say, well, what's the genre? What's the category? If I'm looking at soulful house music, definitely DJ Spen. He's got a lot of talent, and he's got a good circle of people in there. that are just doing wonderful things today. At Jazz, Groove Junkies, to name a few. Detroit Swindle, love that Detroit sound.
Sure.
And yeah, that's just a lot. I mean, soulful music, soulful house music. I'm proud of what's happening today with it because it's just, you can see all people from all walks of life that are doing soulful house music. It's not just, you know.
Adomni, let's pick up from there because you started it. Where is it headed from your perspective? And I want perspective from you guys because you guys really know about it from the door. So, and you know, like a lot of people that I interview into Soulful House came out of a hip hop background and then kind of fell into Soulful House. Where is it headed? And I'd like to get your thoughts, you know, around the table. Then we're going to start to get into Jacksonville and that kind of stuff. So, so where's it headed?
You know, I don't think it's heavily concentrated in any area. I think that it is really broad because if you think about, you know, there's so many artists out there who are making music that is soulful. You know, it could be up in China, and there's people, you know, who understand house music making this kind of music. You just don't really hear about it, maybe. But if you look at all the music that's coming through on Tracksource, on Beatport, it's so hard to keep up with. But I love that the soulful house music incorporates all cultures. It's so broad that you can really, you know, it's got that spiritual element to it. A lot of soulful house music, when you hear them, you know, you got to put your organs in there. You got your keys. You got a lot of percussion in there as well. But you also are hearing a lot of people that are singing. There's so much talent out there. And then, you know, with you know, for me, when I'm building a track and it ends up being soulful house, it almost starts out like if I'm doing an Afro house track. It's got that background of an Afro house rhythm. And then once you start putting the vocals in there and the keys, and it starts to turn into something very soulful. And so I love it. I love that it's just really it's so broad now, and it's not in one specific area, which is great. It you know, there's a little bit of everything for everyone out there in the soulful house genre. And you got soul, you know, boom, do it.
RED, where is soulful house music headed?
I mean, to me, like I say, it's heading in the right direction. Like kind of like Adomni said, you know, you got different, you know, cultures and walks of life, you know, pretty much doing it. But you know, it ain't like I'm like watching the Soulful House news talking about some, well, you know, the Stockton rose on Soulful House, and you know, the NASDAQ said that tech house is going down. You know, I don't know. But I have noticed that, you know, a lot of songs, even because, like I said, I don't really just play soulful. I play it all. I tell people I play from Afro to electro, you know, and all points in between. But some of it I do play has that bit of soul in it. So I do like the fact that, you know, some of the genres that I do play, you know, they may not classify as soulful, but it has a little bit of soul in it. And I'm actually, you know, grateful for that. But like I said, again, I'm just house, you know. I guess kind of like what the legendary Jesse Saunders said in his book, House Music, The Real Story, splintered but united. And that's kind of how I am when it comes to house music, because even though we have all these splintered subgenres, we're still united, thank God. You know, we ain't at war with each other. So.
Right.
But I mean, but me personally, I see it going in a very positive direction.
Okay. KGB, what's your take on it?
kind of feel the same way. I honestly feel like it's headed in a positive direction. I think for quite some time, Soulful House was, I mean, and I'm going to talk about where I've been because I've been a lot of different places. And by the way, every place you go, music is different. In case you didn't know.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
You don't
so-
know. Now you know.
Now you know. I mean, and it's so true. But as far as Soulful House is concerned, I've honestly seen a resurgence of interest in Soulful House. I would say within the last, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years, it's kind of been, and you know, I've heard other DJs say, well, it never really went any place for me. It's always been right here, you know, in my heart.
Right.
And that's true too, because I've played Soulful House the whole time. I mean, I played house music, and I'm kind of like Red. I played all genres of house, drum and bass, break beat. I mean, we're in Florida, man. Florida breaks is huge.
Okay.
Oh, it's huge. But
right.
but so I don't really just you know, pigeonhole Soulful House, you know, as necessarily being, you know, what's doing best for house music, but it definitely has gained popularity over the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. You know, and I'm not just talking about in the Northeast, because again, you know, obviously we're in Florida and it's going on down here.
Right.
So and you know, it's really a big proponent of this is, you know, channels like Twitch, where you can actually tune in and see people spinning the type of house music that you want to hear, be it soulful or whatever, at any time. And that's definitely helped to, you know, make it more available and, you know, so people can see what's going on with it. And that's definitely helped it. But yeah, I think it's definitely going in the right direction. Will it gain popularity and be on the mainstream radio station? I don't know. I think we're yet to see that. But I think the key is to, and I think you've touched on this many times, Dan. The key is to get the youth into the same,
Right.
you know, into the same genre if possible, and that will definitely carry. They will carry the torch into the future for Soulful House.
Right. Yeah, you got to get us youngins in there.
Yes,
anyway, did I say something funny? Anyway, okay. KGB.
You can get the young ones into it, but don't force it.
Yeah. But I think that slipped by. But some people, you said you got to get us youngins in there. Like,
anyway.
Oh. Okay, old fart. All right.
KGB, how did you guys get together? How did that happen?
Well, initially, I mean, like I said, I've been in this market, Jacksonville, since the '90s. And when I first got here, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I was pretty hot DJ. I mean, I had two radio shows. I was playing at just about every genre. Started playing on the Navy base here, and you know, so when I first got here, there was nobody spinning Soulful House. It's just, and if they was doing it in their bedroom. It wasn't happening on the public. Okay. Right. I mean, I definitely, I mean, I still have my record collection. I got like 15,000 records. I've definitely got my record collection, you know, we're talking 90s, so I was on vinyl. I play it for me and my friends, but it wasn't really mainstream. So, you know, fast forward to about, I don't know, I think first time I seen Red at a venue here, a pretty popular venue back then. It's now River City was the name of the venue. And Red and another friend of mine, DJ Jack T, would do shows there, or they DJ there. And I noticed that they were playing Soulful House. And this might have been about 4 or 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was Coffee Grinder.
Oh, it might have been Coffee Grinder, but I distinctly
yeah, because me and Jack T played a Coffee Grinder every Friday together at the time.
But they were playing Soulful House music, and I met Jack T first, but then I met Red, and then Adomni. I met Adomni short time after that, and I think I can't remember the first time.
Was that Metro?
Oh yeah, okay, we met at Metro.
That's Metro.
Yeah, but me and Adomni, and I have another friend, DJ K-Man, Carlton Robinson. We do a live stream weekly, which I won't get into detail now, but we definitely got something we want to let everybody know about that doesn't necessarily know about. But like I said, that's how we basically got together, and since then, I've had the fortune of playing with Red just a couple weeks ago or last weekend.
Last week.
Last week we played together. I play with Adomni all the time. We do live streams together. So.
All right. Now, before we start, I want to go hard into Jacksonville, but before we do that, I want to hear from Diamond. I want to hear from Diamond as a promoter, as a person who's pushing this. How did you get into it? Were you always into it from the door, or this came later after you met RED, or how did this happen?
For me as a promoter, prior to the promoting, I was just a house head. I am from New York as well. I'm from Long Island.
Okay.
And I will admit, yes, I am the young buck of the group. I am 37. So this
Sounds
is
like
back
me.
when this is back when I was 13, sneaking into the tunnel when I wasn't supposed to be.
Uh-oh.
Mom, if you watching, we ain't gonna talk about that later.
The statute of limitations might not be up, so
At least not with my mom.
I was kidding.
But I've always been a house head. I've always embraced different kinds of music, and house was one that just spoke to my soul, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
The promoting part of this actually came into play when I first moved in with you about 4 years ago. And he would take me onto these different house like shows and everything like that. But I think the moment that I realized I wanted to get into this was we had went to a particular show and we had parked like 2 blocks away, but you could still hear the music. And I was like, I know exactly who that is. And I can tell you exactly which DJ it is playing, because they were playing the same set from the last time that we went to one of their shows, but just in a different order. And when we walked into the venue, and sure enough, I was correct. Then I was like, well, babe, why don't you play out more? And he was like, I don't know. So he had a friend who was the actual GM of a club down here. So I went to him.
We'll say associate.
Associate.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was like, hey, you got a dope DJ in your back pocket. Like, why won't you just put him on? Mind you, they're in the same age range. I think he's actually 2 years older than him.
Yep.
And he was like, it's a young man's game. He might as well just hang it up. I'm a New Yorker. I'm a real New Yorker. I don't like to repeat myself, and I'm definitely not going to ask you twice. So I was like, oh, I see what this is. Since you won't give him a platform, I'll create him one. I had no idea what I was doing, but I took all of my knowledge from working in restaurants for 20 years and now basically health insurance. And I said, you know what? I'm going to apply those skills to him. I have a really good brand. I might as well market it. And then from that, we had one event that went terribly wrong because it was a mass shooting that night that we threw, the very first event we ever had.
At a house event?
No, it wasn't a shooting at the house event.
No,
it
no.
was a shooting at a gaming convention, like
Okay.
up the block from us.
I was gonna say
So-
that was
No.
that would have
So
been
it put
first.
a damper on the event because people were afraid to like really go out.
Right.
So I said, but me personally, I don't think of anything as a negative. I said, well, here's the pluses of this event and here's the minuses of that event. And I will take those minuses and I will work on those. From there, we just started growing. I started getting venue after venue to the point that now I can't walk into a venue without them like, hey, you want to do a party? And I'm like, so then we started doing press for him. And then I was labeled from Folio Weekly. I am apparently the only African-American female promoter here in Jacksonville. And I've been labeled the top promoter here in Jacksonville by Folio Weekly, you know. So
Yeah. I mean, and now the whole thing started off, she just wanted to get me out there playing. But when it started happening, I started thinking to myself, you know, there are other DJs that are out here who don't get a chance to play. And, you know, in every city, you know, there's that one person that you got to go do to play. And, you know, a lot of people don't have time to be kissing butt. So, so basically, we wanted to have another platform. So, okay, you got this event. Okay, we got this, you know, so we get more DJs to come play, you know, to get out. Plus, you know, Jacksonville, it was just one monopoly, like one place to go to for house music. and that was it. So now with us doing what we're doing with Red Diamond Promotions, we have more, give people more options to, so to speak.
And we give them more DJs because they were using a lot of the same DJs and just recycling them. And to me, I was like, but there's so many other dope underground DJs here, like Adomni, like KGB, like K-Man, and there's a list of others that I could honestly mention, but it's one of those, when do they get their time to shine? So that's what we basically turned Red Diamond Promotions into. I wanted to be able to not only give the large DJs their time to shine, but these underground dope DJs their time to shine, because who else was giving them that break? And they need to be heard. That was my promise to you. I told you when I started this, I said, I would make sure the world got to hear you. I wanted the world to hear your story. And along that time period, that story started to change from just his to a lot of other people's as well.
And especially young DJs coming up too. I've been scouting them as well. I'm coming like the big homie, the big brother, kind of, so to speak. One person called me a godfather. I'm like, no, I don't want that title. But
I called you Pop Pop.
Yeah, they call me Pops. Yeah, the guy called me Pops. Let Pops get on. I'm like, I ain't that old yet. But we just try to look for like DJs who don't get a shot, because it can be hard out here. And I will say this: we need more promoters in the world. Because being a DJ promoter, that's one thing, but just to have a straight promoter when you're in the bed counting sheep, the promoter's up late at night making deals and stuff. That's what she does. And I feel we need more promoters in this world, not just saying Jack. I'm just talking about in general, honestly, my opinion.
Well, let me say something I think that was really important that you said, Diamond. So like in the old days, the only way you can make it on the radio, make it become popular, the radio, you had to go through, I don't know, maybe 2 stations that played this style of music. In the old days, if you wanted to get famous, you had to get on TV on these 5 stations. In the old days, you tell you the limitation, but here's the other part of it. A lot of DJs, and I've seen it on an ongoing basis, and I've had conversations, a lot of DJs get upset with the people who are the promoters and putting the events on and whatever. But now I always say, look, 2 things. Number one is, hey, listen, whoever is putting on an event is spending their time, their energy, and their money. They can do what they want. And if they use the usual suspects, that's who they use. What are you gonna? You can't be mad. Some guys say, well, listen, I've been in the business for 30, 40 years and blah, blah, blah. Listen, hey, then here's what I think that you said is really important. You started doing your own thing. And especially now, it's easier than ever. I mean, today, matter of fact, when we finish this interview, you can set up your own YouTube channel. You can set up your own Twitch channel. You don't have to wait till somebody anoints and appoints you. So anyway, I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Anyway, okay. So now let's talk about Jacksonville. I want to go deep into Jacksonville, all right? But here's how I want to start it off. For those of you, or for those of us who never even heard of Jacksonville, where's Jacksonville? Where is it in the state? Where is it in relation to Miami, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach? I mean, where is Jacksonville?
North.
Okay.
We are the beginning of Florida.
Huh?
It's the beginning of Florida.
Okay.
Yes.
So just right below Georgia, you come right in. Welcome to Jacksonville. Boom. And it just starts from there. And it's crazy because you can take a turn and there's a whole new community. It's just it's immense.
Yes.
It's immense.
Yeah.
5 hours away from Atlanta.
Okay. All right.
2 hours from Orlando.
5 hours, 3 hours from Tampa.
All right. A plane ride from Jersey. Anyway.
And beaches all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay. So KG, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One other thing about Jacksonville, it is the largest county by land mass in the country.
Yes, it is.
Oh, really? Okay. I actually had a childhood friend lived there up until about maybe 2 years ago. He lived there for like 10, 12 years. So that's how I really heard about it, but he's not really into house. He's really into jazz, and he thinks the kind of music I listen to
Yeah, nothing wrong with
is
that.
noise.
Bonnie James, Rick Braun, hey, we can go all night.
So, all right. So now talk to us about the Jacksonville scene, because I mean, think about this, when like I didn't even know there was a scene in Jacksonville, and you guys are putting this. So talk about the scene when you guys got there. Tell us what that was like.
I could start by saying when I first got here, like I said, you know, way back when, there was a club scene here, and there were actually they had a lot of house DJs come. I mean, when I say a lot of house DJs, they were booking, you know, like Sasha, you know, like we talking like European house DJs.
Yep.
And they did well. They didn't necessarily have Soulful house, and that was kind of like the missing element at first when I first got here. Every now and then we'd see somebody that might be close, like I don't know. I don't know if you say Bad Boy Bill is a Soulful house.
Okay.
Yeah, nah, it's more tech-ish.
I love him though, but he's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
soulful. I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that was the scene back then. The scene now is it's evolved tremendously, and you know, Red Diamond has been a tremendous part of where we're at here locally, absolutely. And we were doing, when I say we myself and my my partners, we were doing events too, right before the pandemic hit, and then once the pandemic hit, we kind of, you know, squirreled away and been in the house doing stuff. But one thing I also say about Red and Diamond, they persevered through the pandemic and have been given events, you know, and I applaud their effort. I mean, because a lot of people wouldn't have done that.
We never stopped.
Yeah, they never stopped. They've been consistent. So
now let me ask. I'm sorry. I wanted to ask a question about that. Go ahead.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I got excited for a minute and I interrupted you. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like I said, now we're you know, with Red Diamond here and a couple of other promoters, we're seeing, you know, monthly, weekly events. You know, just about every other week there's something going on in Soulful Housewives. So
Now, Jacksonville, I'm sure the weather is a little bit different than right now. I think it's, I don't know. It's not all that warm. It's matter of fact, it is 34 degrees in Patterson, New Jersey, where I am.
It's not 34 degrees here. That's why I live here, Dan.
God bless your heart, man. Bless your heart, Danny.
You know, well, but during the summer, you know, there were a lot of events here, and you see it growing. So if anybody had a doubt about where if Soulful House is dying off, you could see by the events and the number of events and the attendance and stuff like that is here. So my question to you is, did you start to, do you guys do outdoor events, and did you see growth in the audiences, or what was happening, especially too? I guess I'm gonna come back to Diamond too on this in terms of the whole movement, the whole community moving forward.
As far as the events are concerned, we personally never stopped doing them. When everything shut down here in Florida, as far as like venues were concerned, because for quite a bit of time, bars and clubs actually got shut down. If you didn't have some sort of restaurant inside of you, you were not allowed to have patrons here. So when all of that transpired, we moved the club to my patio.
Yep.
So what we did was we were doing something called House for the Cause, where we would pick, what was it, like 5 DJs?
Yeah.
We would do 5 DJs, 2-hour sets. We would start at 12 in the afternoon and go until 10 o'clock at night. And we would live stream it on, at the time, I think it was Twitch.
I was on Twitch.
We were doing it on Twitch, where we raised money for those same establishments that gave us a shot in the beginning. And we kind of just cut them all a check and was like, here you go. And we did this maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
We did it 3 times at the house.
Yep.
After that,
the neighbors, no, just kidding.
We literally started going back into the venues. We started off, we did everything by protocol for COVID and everything like that. But the funny thing of it is, the crowds seems bigger.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
actually seem bigger because we're opening up and people were actually thirsty looking for that house experience.
Mhm.
And what we like to do is we like to bring it back to the basics, which actually is one of the
Name
names
of
of our
our
events. Because we do live that plur life, that peace, that love, that unity, that respect, and we embrace all. So that's what we try to bring to the actual table. As far as the crowds are concerned, they've just been growing. They keep growing, and I love it because the real house heads are starting to come out. And I love that we're starting to now bridge the gap between that younger generation and that older generation. The one thing me and Herman always talk about a lot about is passing the torch.
Yep.
This younger generation doesn't really have too many of the what I like to call the older heads that are willing to pass that torch on to them and give them the knowledge. Because a lot of the older heads want to force it down their throats. You got to give them baby steps. The younger generation ain't like us. You know what I'm saying? They're not built completely for tough like we are. So you got to give them a little bit and let them do what they're going to do. And I like seeing them flourish. I like seeing the younger DJs that love being on our lineups. And I like seeing the younger crowd that's starting to come out. It's beautiful to me. As far as indoor and outdoor events, we are open to doing both, and especially with the new venue that we have, where we actually do have an outside space and an inside space. So that's going to be something to definitely look forward to once this spring comes, because I got some things cooking.
Yeah, like barbecue.
Mind your face.
Yeah.
Adomni, I want Adomni, can you jump in this conversation and your perspective on it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, yes, between what Red and Diamond is doing, and you know, there are some other groups that I guess have more insight into other venues, and you can see that they're, you know, trying to get house music to Jacksonville. You know, like getting bigger names. I think Roger Sanchez was here not too long ago.
Okay.
A couple years ago, Riva Starr came down.
Riva Starr, love the vibe.
Yeah, Riva Starr was down. So, you know, it's work though. You know, like really getting people to continue to be strong, to keep house music strong is so important. You know, I love to be a part of it, and I'm very thankful to be a producer that can put music out and represent Jacksonville, North Florida. I currently live in St. Augustine, but you know, it's all the same to
It
us.
is.
But with everything that these guys are doing with the streaming, we invite people to join. Like, you know, what KGB is doing with Soulful House Nation, you know, inviting other DJs from other cities, big cities or small cities,
right?
Do a set and put it out there. You know, I'm no longer using Spotify. I rarely use Pandora. Twitch is, you know, Twitch and all these live streaming sites. Reaching people out if they can't be here, you know. So even if we don't have a physical location, you know, you can't make it, there's always some kind of streaming event going on tied to Jacksonville. There's always, and you can take your pick, you know, of what kind of genre you like. So when we get together with the groups that are out there online, and we kind of help each other out, you know, and support in that aspect. But yeah, you know, but still Jacksonville's got still a ways to go, because you know, if you think about how house music is flourishing in other parts of the world, you know, I would love to see that. Where we have every other place, there's a club, take your pick. There's house music wherever you go, you know, not just in select places, because some people might not they might not like a certain venue, you know, they maybe don't like a certain part of Jacksonville, but you know, by doing what we're doing and expanding that to other people, you know, that can open up doors to perhaps other venues. I mean, it's just like how we all know each other, you know. I met Red back in, I think it was 2012.
Yep, 2012. Before you had the beard.
I was playing at, was it at
Okay.
Istanbul? I was playing music at Istanbul, and I
Yeah,
think
Istanbul, yeah.
Red knew any place that say house music, he was like, he would show up.
Yep.
And then we started playing music at the Landing at the Chicago Pizza place. What's that place called?
Yeah, it was called Chicago Pizza. Yeah,
Chicago Pizza.
I remember.
Chicago Pizza.
Yeah,
we used
Chicago
to
Pizza.
call that. We used to call it Frequency Friday, and we used to put the speakers out on the river, like facing the river, and we used to play house music, and that was great. And for me, that was like the beginning where I need to acknowledge Red in this sense, because he was to me like a mentor. When I started playing music, there was a while where we just didn't, you know, life took over, and then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, Red, I've been like making some music, and he took the time to listen, and he allowed me to put some music on his label. So, you know, Red Diamond Productions, they're really open, you know, so if you reach out to them, they're really
Promotions, not productions, promotions.
promotions.
All right, big homie. I'm
Can I
sorry.
interject it for 1 second? Now when we do our live events, I know we was talking about streaming and everything. At our events, we actually live stream it as well as record it. So,
Gotcha.
so some people who can't make it, they can actually watch the stream. I'll stream our parties live, and I do two cameras. I always have one facing the DJ and one facing the crowd, so they can actually see what's going on. I've actually had a couple of people who actually watched the stream and was like, "Man, that looks so dope! I'm gonna go." They cut the computer off, came in, and came party with us. So yeah, so basically, you know, that's the beautiful thing about you know, giving people options and everything. And don't get me wrong, live streaming at home is cool. I mean, I did it for 20 years and everything, but it's nothing like just being out there.
Right.
And you know, and don't get me wrong, you know, I know a lot of people does live streaming and everything, but it's nothing like just being out there. And that's why I'm so gun-ho about, you know, wanting to book some of these DJs to get them to play on our lineup, you know, so they can just be out there. You feel like feeling being out there, shake some hands, you know, or like she say, shake some hands, kiss some babies.
Some babies.
Kiss some
Okay.
babies, you know. But yeah, all of our events we stream live, and actually you go to my YouTube channel, you can watch all our recent events. You know, so but that's something that we kind of came up with. I've noticed not really too many people, I don't think anyone in Jacksonville is doing that, where they stream it as well as you can actually party at the same time, you know. So
got you.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. KGB, you sitting forward like you had something you wanted to
No,
say.
I'm listening.
Listen. Okay.
I'm taking you say too. I'm like, hey,
Okay.
the information there.
I mean, I thought you knew this stuff. Come on, man.
I do.
All right. So now, what are you doing, say, collectively? What are you doing individually? Or do you have a collective effort that's going on amongst you three? Talk to us about that. And what's the impact you want to have?
Well, I would say that collectively, I mean, you know, what Red's doing, I'm definitely trying to be a part of playing out with them. Like I said, I just played with them actually for the first time this past week. I did say earlier that Adomni and I, we've been playing together. Let me back up a little bit. About a year and a half or 2 years ago, me and my other partner, DJ K-Man, Carlton Robinson, we started a Friday show called the Friday Night Soulful House DJ Battle.
Okay.
And it was a brainchild that I kind of came up with, because, you know, everybody's doing the versus thing. So I was like, well, we can do the DJ versus, and we can go back and forth as, you know, like a battle. And it's taken off. Anybody that's watched our show loves it. And we do it every Friday. Matter of fact, this Friday we're doing it. We're actually going to be on KMTV live, and we also do it on. We also have another channel, the Soulful House Syndicate channel. See the T-shirt, just like that. So in any case, and during our show, we do different categories. We, you know, me and Carlton are graphics Nazis, so we got all kinds of graphics, and you know, we kind of took it to another level with that. But you know, and then we're also doing tribute. Matter of fact, Adomni. So this week we'll have DJ Adomni, DJ Get Down, DJ K-Man, and myself going around on the categories. We do Adomni's doing check this out. Adomni is doing a Herbie Hancock Soulful House tribute this Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
And hey, can I also tell him about the track, Adomni?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
And I mean, he just told me today, he was so inspired by it. He made a track just for this tribute to Herbie Hancock.
Wow.
And I've done several tributes. I've done like Lady Alma. Done like I just did a matter of fact, who else have I done? I've done what's the name? Cherie Hicks.
Sure.
But
Okay.
you know,
Natalie Cole.
Natalie Cole, and we'll put some information up about them during the live stream. So it's not just the music. You also get some nice visuals, and you might get some information about the artist.
Exactly.
And again, and we start about 8 or 9 o'clock. It kind of varies. We swap studios when we do it. You know, bedroom studios, that is.
Okay.
But it's definitely if you love soulful house music, that's where we're at. And like I said, each week we got different categories and we go back and forth. I mean, some people might say it's back to back, but we go at it. It's like this, a rumble. So
Wow.
yeah.
House
So
music is supposed to be about peace and really not fighting.
yeah, but you know, it's all in good fun. And
I know.
yeah,
I'm messing with
and to
you.
be honest with you, it's made us all better DJs. And on top of that, it's made us for me, it's made me a better producer as well. Because a lot of times we'll say, okay, well, we're gonna do a track for this tribute for this category, and it has to be on, you know, within this window, you know, maybe incorporate some vocals, maybe around this song.
2 days.
2 days, and bam, and then, you know, so that is what I'm doing on a weekly basis. And then as well as that, I also play on Sundays on Straight Fire DJs channel, which is a DJ Get Down channel on Twitch. You can catch me there. And then also my weekly on Soulful House Music Collage on Thursdays. That's also another channel that, I mean, if you like Soulful House music, you really need to know about that one, because it's 24/7 Soulful House DJs. Okay. So if they're not live, he's playing archives, or he's rated another Soulful House DJ. But that is definitely something. I mean, and I realize this is not necessarily out in the public, but you can get to this while you're sitting at your desk at work, you know.
So you can say that because maybe you don't have to work, because the rest of us.
Thank you.
But I mean, but you got like for instance, people like Momo TV. She makes time to go live, even though she's going to work, way to work. We get some of that Soulful House in it. So everybody's got a moment, so they can catch.
Yeah, about contributing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, everybody contribute. And by the way, Dan, on that show, on the Friday night Soulful House DJ battle, it really does make us better, because, you know, we have ideas that come out of this show because we're always trying to do some new kind of category, or, you know, just maybe select new music. Right. So that inspires us to inspire the next person and you know, push them along. And so, I mean, I would love to elaborate what we do, because it is so much fun.
Oh,
we have a
bunch. Yeah. So tomorrow night, tune in.
Well, it sounds like, are you ready for this one? When you inspire, you cause others to perspire. Anyway.
Cute.
And burn down the house.
Well, as they say, still sharpen steel, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
All right, I'm gonna give a few shout outs, and then I got some more stuff we want to get into here. All right. Momo TV, how you doing? Patty Kane, DJ Patty Kane, who I had the good fortune Interview
I'm
is in the
sorry,
house.
we booked
That's
her
all
to
right.
go on. I love her.
Yeah, we booked
Shonda
her.
T.
Momo.
What's up, Shonda T? Oh my goodness, look at these people get. Carlton Robinson, K-Man.
Hey man.
DJ
K-Man.
Woo.
All right now.
Woo, woo.
Then let's see. Rashid Boss Hog Benton. Okay. Okay, I got a couple more I'm gonna hear. Okay, then I have here Joy. What's up?
Oh, joy.
Uh-huh. All right, so I'm gonna go. Listen, the real, not the imitator, whoever that is, but the real Carmen Brown is in the house.
Oh,
all right?
wow. I met Carmen Brown. She-
Yes, we met her. Well, you
In
met her
South
in
Carolina.
South Carolina, right?
Sure
Right,
did.
right.
Sure did.
Mhm, right. Okay, now I want to go a little bit deeper here. Let's talk about producing. All right, now all of you produce. And first, I want to start with KGB. Talk to us, and just and without getting to detail, your software or hardware of choice with everybody. And then when we're going to do RED, and what's on the table, what you got working with, and then we're going to get Adomni, and then we're going to play a little track of his. All right.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
software choice and what you got on the table.
So
Alright.
my software choice is Ableton, and I
Okay.
use Ableton. I also use the machine.
Okay.
So
I
kind
see
of
it.
like a combination right there.
I-
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
I see the machine in the
Yeah,
back,
right
in
here,
the
right.
background. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. What are you working on right now that we should know about that you can
Oh.
share? Put it that way.
Well, I've got a couple of things in the work. Unfortunately, my machine went down. I actually had to have it repaired, so I just got
Mhm.
my computer back. I've got a secret remix.
Uh-oh.
I got a secret remix in the works right now, and
Okay.
when it's done, I will make sure I send you a copy. I don't know if
Okay.
it'll get licensed, but it's going to be something that us as DJs can play. Okay.
Okay. All
I'll
right.
definitely send you a copy. And then moving forward, me and Adomni have been talking about collaborating. So hopefully
Mhm.
we'll be able to sit down and do some work in the production wheelhouse as well
Mhm.
here.
Okay.
Moving forward.
RED.
Oh, my choice. I'm Ableton all the way. I
Okay.
even have the Ableton Push 2.
Okay. All right.
Unfortunately, I haven't really had much time to really work on some track. I got a couple things in the making, but everything has been pretty much, Red Down Promotions, because we got a good momentum going with, venues and stuff like that. But I do plan on putting out some stuff on my label soon, House of Rose label. But going back, I probably got over 300 releases on probably like 20 to
Okay.
30 different other labels. So
Okay.
I can chill for a little while if I
Just
put some out.
just name a couple just so we know what to look for. Okay.
Well, a couple of tracks I've done.
Yeah, a couple of tracks you've done. And then also did you use the name RED, or should we look under you some type of other alias or whatever? Okay.
Oh, what couple of tracks you think?
There was the stuff that you did with Jason Vidal. You did the track with Vetus and
Oh yeah, Vetus featuring Nappy Roots. That was what was it called? Roll with the Beat.
Roll with the Beat, and then
Um,
where's
And then
Someone Like You.
Someone Like You with Sugar Hill Gang.
Hmm.
That was one of the most popular stuff I had done. That was like about what, a year or two ago.
About a year and a half ago.
As far as like tracks, you can go to track source of Beatport and just type R.E.D. and all my stuff will pop up pretty much. But those two tracks we just mentioning, those are like kind of like the pinnacles I would say, that we actually dealt with like big time artists, and they were just remixes, so.
Gotcha.
But I do plan on doing some stuff on my label soon. So it's just like I said, we got this momentum going. Things are starting to open up. So it's just, more focused on the DJing part of it and booking DJs. And so.
All right.
Mhm.
Adomni.
Yes,
Software.
definitely keeping busy.
Yeah.
I don't get the chance to go out very much, because I try to really dedicate time in the studio.
We're the opposite.
Yeah,
We're the opposite.
Yeah, I know. I just, I have so many ideas, and I want to see them, I want to see them come alive. I really do. And there's an artist that I'm working with out of Jacksonville, and her name is Leticia Lopez. She's very talented. So we got a project that we're working on, and hopefully, early next year we'll get something put out. That's going to be very exciting because it's going to involve a lot of people. Um, uh, I've been fortunate to get on board with Patty Kane's label, and that's House Royalty. Just recently released 2 tracks with collaboration with DJ Jack T and Leticia Lopez, and got something working for next year for early release, and also try to participate in the Beatport remix competition. So Carl Craig, if you're listening,
Okay.
please listen to my track.
Okay.
Oh,
How about your
No.
software choice? Your
Software choice. Hey, I started with Native Instruments, but I love Ableton. It's
Okay.
I love it.
I'm to blame.
Okay.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Okay. Steve Davis is in the house. All right, Steve. Okay. Now you've got a track you sent me. I want to play a little bit of it. I'm going to play a snippet of it because Facebook is a nasty, nasty little habit of shutting us down and muting us out. So just in case. So name of the track is called Funk Burner. And this is the Soulful mix by Adomni. Tell us about the track, what it is, how'd you come about it, and then I'm gonna play a little bit of it.
Absolutely. So we have a good friend of ours. His name is DJ JJ, and he came to visit us in Jacksonville. And we were playing one night at the Friday night DJ battle. And we were in communication online. Then I got a chance to meet him. But before he came, I wanted to do something nice for him. So I asked him, hey, what's your one of your favorite songs or artists or something like that? I want to, I like doing tributes for some reason. And then so he gave me this track by it's Keith. What was it? The Pursuit of the Pimpmobile.
Yeah,
It's like a 70s song, right? And so I understood why he liked the music, because it just takes you on a journey. There's a lot of things happening in the track. So what I did was I created a song that week, and this was created from that idea, and then I put it out to Talent Tuesday, DJ Spence label. He does something every other Tuesday or Tuesday where you get to submit your music, and he gives people the opportunity. He gives you feedback, and this was something I learned from Keith. So again, never take for granted any little thing that you can share in this industry, because you just never know. And so I submitted that track. It gave me some feedback. I made some updates. Next thing you know, I'm getting an email from Quantize Recordings saying, hey, you want to put this out on this Quantize Chill collaboration compilation? And next thing you know, I'm like, man, I got so excited about that. So they gave me the opportunity to put this out, and it showed up on October's Best New Music on Beatport. It is a Beatport exclusive, and it's called Funk Burner. So I'm staying busy. Watch how I'm coming.
JJ Towns us both that week. So we both made tracks for Pursuit of the Pimpmobile.
Pursuit of the Pimpmobile. It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. All right, I'm gonna play a little bit of it. All right, here we go. That's the Soulful mix. So it sounds like you have multiple mixes on it, huh? Adomni.
Well, you know, the original one has the samples from the actual pursuit of the Pitmobile, and so I couldn't get clearance on that. So I did that version. So really, there's not a lot of difference except for there is a specific funk guitar sample
Mm-hmm.
of the original.
Okay. All right. Now, we want to talk a little bit about Red. You have a radio show. Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about that. What you
I got a
doing?
radio show? Me? Who, me?
Yeah.
Actually, it's actually a story behind it.
Okay.
Because of Missy here. So
Okay.
I'm gonna let her.
She stays busy, huh?
Actually, I do a radio show in Orlando
Mhm.
on Sundays from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Mhm.
Now, the story behind it is very intriguing, and I would definitely like for her to tell it. Go ahead and tell them. You got to hear this story.
So I'm the type of person I like to think outside the box. And
Mhm.
when it comes to house, I really do want the world to embrace it and understand it and feel it the way that we feel it. So I kind of started thinking to myself, how else can I expose the world to house? Specifically at the time it was him.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, well, we've got these events going. He does, at the time you were doing internet radio prior to this.
Yeah.
And we were live streaming everything. I said, okay, well, growing up as a teen in New York, you would only be able to hear house on one station,
Mhm.
and
Right.
that was WBLS.
Right.
And it literally would come on between Friday night and Saturday morning. So you got to stay up until like
Yes.
12 o'clock at night listening to Charles Dixon.
Dixon. Absolutely.
So me being the
Uh-huh.
person that I am, I reached out to a legendary DJ in New York, who will just keep him nameless right now.
Okay.
Who basically told
What is his
me,
initials? Okay.
RA. Would you say that?
RA.
Okay. All right. Good
So
enough.
I was like, hey, I have a question. Trying to get some exposure, really want to see where we can go with this. And, you know, I was actually reaching out to him because we wanted to do more publicity, like interviews like this. He was like, I love what you're doing. I think it's awesome. Let me hook you up with a friend of mine.
Mhm.
So he passed me along to Charles Dixon.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, cool. I
Mhm.
messaged Charles Dixon like, hey, literally would love to do an interview with you. I guess the wires had got misconstrued because Charles thought we wanted to interview him.
Okay.
So I'm at work
Okay.
and I'm like, oh my God, I'm started screaming, jumping up and down to my desk, ran into the break room. I called up Brett. I'm like, babe, he wants to do the interview.
Okay.
He was like, call me later. I said, okay, fine. So I called him later and he didn't pick up. He wound up calling me back around like 11:30 that night.
That sounds
And
like
I'm
Charles.
like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? We just started talking. He was like, I love what you guys are doing. I think it's dope. I really want to come down there and like kind of spar with Red. And I was like, okay. He was like, but I don't do interviews. He said, however, I think you would be a fit for somebody else who's a little bit closer to you. So he introduced me to Paul Porter. And I was like, okay. So I had reached out to Paul and me and him had gotten to talking and he was like, hey, by the way, my station is only hip hop and R&B. I don't know why Charles told you that. So I left it alone. I said, well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Porter. It was thank you. If you know anyone that was looking for a DJ, let me know. About a week later, we were at one of his associates' house for their birthday. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, babe, Paul Porter just emailed me and he's sending me his number and he wants me to talk. I was like, oh God, he probably just wants to let me down gently through like actual talking to me. So I was like, hey, we're kind of like out of town right now. Can I call you tomorrow? He was like, yeah, just message me first because I don't pick up numbers. I don't know. So I got off work. I had told him a specific time because I was messaging him at work. We're not going to say where I work so they don't know what I did.
Right.
But so I'm like, okay. He goes, I said, I get off around like 4:30ish. Can I message you then? He said, okay, fine. So I get in my car. I'm literally sitting in the car, like my car in the parking lot. I got off late and he was like, that's fine. I'll call you in 30 minutes. He wound up calling me in less than 2. We're sitting there and we're just talking. We're like chopping it up. We're talking like he's my old uncle or something like that. We're talking about back in New York, and he's telling me how, he used to go to like James Brown's house and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden he goes to me, hey, so I'm just saying I got a time slot between 12 and 3. What's up? And honestly, at first, because we were still in the middle of the conversation, I didn't even realize what he had said to me. And then wiferager emerged, which is what I call myself. I'm the wiferager. It just kind of snapped in. I was like, wait, 12 to 3 is kind of a bit much. I don't want to kill him. So I was like, maybe we'll do 12 to 2. So we started off at 12 to 2. And then he recently came to us. He was like, hey, my church folks kind of like want to extend their show a little bit. And he's like, I really want to put you in a better prime spot anyway, because the show is doing so well. So he moved us from 12 to 2 to 2 to 4.
Got you.
And now he does a weekly show every week on
98.5 The Wire in Orlando. Now the thing is, it's already pre-mixed and everything, because with radio station you got to do a drop every 20 minutes and make sure there's no cursing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I pretty much do a mix, 2 mixes per week, for the station.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. But the initial thing was he wasn't going to deal with us because he said he was doing hip hop and R&B, and I guess he kind of thought about it.
And the conversation literally went as he said, I thought about it and I thought about it again, and I said to myself, it's my station. That's literally how this transpired. And he's a huge house head. He was like, and it's my station. So yeah, who's gonna check me? Yeah, by the way, look, we're gonna do that. And I was like, all right.
And that's pretty much how that goes. So
wow.
But just any ways you try to get house music out here, and not just Jacksonville, but really in Florida as well. So I mean, if I make a name, I want to make sure that I bring people along, with me too as well.
So what do you think? Just I'm throwing this out to everybody. Like, hey, what? I'm gonna give you a magic wand. All right. What do you think is if you could just do this or this could happen, Jacksonville would pop even more?
For Soulful House, I would say we need a festival. And when I say that, some nice headliners at possibly somewhere on a beach, like a beach venue or something like that. Because there is a very nice beach here. I mean, Jacksonville's beach, water. So I mean, and to be honest with you, I personally, I've looked at this before in the past. I just was, I guess it wasn't ready to come to fruition because I couldn't find the right venue or, the right promoter that will want to go along with me on it. But, the future I think it will happen eventually. It's just a matter of time.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Can I interject?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm currently in the works with getting the permits for that.
All right now. You heard it first.
Yeah.
When I first moved down here, that was the first thing that I actually said to Herman. I said it would be really dope if we could start like every place has their own festival for house music. There's one in New York that they do in Central Park. There's one in Atlanta where they do house in the park. And I was like, we have so many beaches down here, and I'm what I like to call a water baby because I grew up on Long Island. So I was like, why not throw a dope party for house music on the beach? So I started comprising that together about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've now been in contact with everyone for the permitting and everything for the city of Jacksonville to actually go ahead and move forward. I've actually reached out to the larger radio station down here, WAPE, who literally, once I get this going, wants to come out and broadcast from it. And I've got some really large names that I want to bring down here. I definitely want to bring down Miss Patty Kane again.
Okay, now.
Definitely probably may look to Stacey as well, because we just recently brought Stacey Kidd down
here,
as well. And I'm looking for a few others as well as some of the local talent to throw it all in there. And I want to kind of just make an all-day blowout event, just dope
Mm.
DJs from beginning to end.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so we in the works.
You'll
We
do
just
it.
quiet with ours, but we're in the works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you'll do it.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Now
Another
you
reason why I
got.
can't make tracks.
Don't be blaming me.
Yeah, I be blaming you.
Don't be blaming me.
Yeah.
So Diamond, you sent us, you sent some flyers and stuff, events and stuff that are going on. Can you tell us about these events that you have coming up now that are coming up? And if anybody else has anything, let us know that too.
We have quite a few events coming up. I
Okay.
currently have one coming up this Sunday. We call that Lunar House.
You
where
said
it's a day
loony or
party.
lunar?
Lunar.
Okay. All right.
I usually either name my events after something that means something to me. The particular place that we're doing this event at is called Eclipse Bar and Nightclub. So I went with the whole lunar theme with like galaxy and everything. It's a day party. It's going to be from 3 to 9.
Mhm.
Then
And she's serving food.
Of course, I do cater all of our actual events.
Oh,
It's personally just in me where I can't let people leave an establishment or one of my parties intoxicated like that. So I make sure I do provide something for them to put on their stomach, because it just wouldn't sit right in my conscience. Then we have one this Sunday, then we have one this Saturday, the 18th as well, which is Back to the Basics 18.
Yeah.
That's going to be at Justice Pub down here in on Main Street.
Downtown.
Then you're doing something with the Soul Union on Christmas.
Yeah.
Then we also are doing a New Year's Eve
And
a New Year's Day party at Eclipse Riverside as well. Plus we have Eclipse Riverside's 30th birthday coming up, because they're the longest running bar here, so still in existence right now. So we'll be doing that on the 29th
of January.
And we still have some other events scattered in between there as well.
Yeah, she just ain't made the flyers yet.
No.
Okay. All right.
So that's what I said. We got a lot going on with events, as you can see.
Anybody else have anything coming up that they can share at this point in terms of what's on the horizon?
Well, like I said, weekly, I mentioned earlier, I have my weekly live streams. Soulful House Music Collage on Thursdays from 6 to 8. And again, if you like Soulful House music, you need to go ahead and check out that channel, because it's on and popping around the clock. And then on Fridays, again, we have the Friday night Soulful House DJ battle. This Friday, that will feature myself, DJ K-Man, DJ Get Down, and one other guy, Adomni.
Okay.
That his name?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But,
play that new track. I'll play that new track tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And that'll be again, that'll be on my live stream channel, which is Killer Green Beats on Twitch. And then also it'll be on KMTV Live, where you play sometimes too, don't you, Darren?
Yeah, I play. Matter of fact, I'll be on this Friday, tomorrow, from 4 to 6. Yeah.
So we'll be on after you later that 8 to 10.
Okay.
And then it could possibly go longer, because our show, we got 4 DJs, so it might be about 3 or 4 hours for us. But in any case, if you can't catch the whole show, just tune in and check us out. And then on Sunday, Straight Fire DJs also on Twitch, and that's my man Get Down's channel. And he has a lineup of DJs starting from, I think they start at 12 Eastern time, and we go all the way till 8 at night. And he does that every Sunday. So I'm in that rotation as well. And that's about it for me.
Okay. Well, Adomni.
Tomorrow we're gonna have a blast at the Friday night DJ battle. So please join us if you can. And whenever I can, I join these guys here. And Red, I got nothing but love. So when I can't come, I'm
I know.
Crazy busy. I do private events too, so I stay busy. But I really always try to keep time to music production.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Also, too, for people who want to keep up with Red Dime Promotions, you can just look us up on Facebook. It gives you all the events. You can see videos from our events. Like we just having to fly through Jacksonville, and you want to know what's going on. Hit us up, Red Diamond Promotions, or you can friend one of us. I would say friend her. She's the boss.
Okay. All right.
You know about the gun line, boss.
And that's how it should be. Anyway, so
thank you. How about the gun line, boss?
All right. Well, listen, we're going to come in for a landing. We're getting down to the wire. Any final thoughts or anything that either we didn't cover or anything you want to emphasize? Any final thoughts? Okay.
I'd like to say something if I could. Like at the beginning, we were talking about behind the scenes, and it's not just us, but anybody who's contributing to house music, whether you're online, whether you are, doing events in other locations, you got different groups. We just want to say thank you, because you help to keep house music alive, and there's a lot of, it takes a lot of work, especially if you want people to be introduced to it and, really come to an understanding that, house music is so powerful. I fell in love with music long time ago, but then, 2012, it just became like a brand new love for me, and it hasn't stopped. So those people who are out there inviting, those people who are out there coming to shows, you all know who you are. Your artists, DJs, percussionists, it reach out to us. We're not stuck up people. If you have a beautiful voice and you want to maybe something happen, come on. Reach out to us. We united, we support each other.
I agree. Fantastic. Actually, we may have a singer on the live. But I'm gonna ask her to fall back, only because I don't want like this show is about you guys, so I don't want her
taking over.
Put it this way. Yeah. Put it this way. Her voice is unbelievable.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay.
You'll let us know though, so we can reach out to her, right? To say thank you.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
Gotcha.
Don't do that. I said unbelievable. That doesn't necessarily mean anyway. All right.
Awesome.
All right.
I love it.
Okay. Anything that we didn't cover you want to highlight, emphasize, or
I don't know if I should say this or not, but in any case, I'd just like to thank you, Dan, for having us. Appreciate you entertaining, the Jacksonville unit.
Okay.
Also want to let any DJ or anybody that's looking for like music by me. I don't have anything published as of yet, but I do have some stuff on Bandcamp. My Bandcamp is Killer Green Beats. Killer, Killa, Green Beats with a Z.
And he's got some dope on the ground stuff there.
Yes, sir. So check me out.
Faye, how are you? Okay.
I guess I can say anybody want to check out my label House of Rose Recordings. Just type in House of Rose. You can check out releases on my label. I'd like to say I will be having some new stuff very soon. Oh, and just so you know, like people say, well, why'd you call it House of Rose? Well, a friend of mine said, if you're gonna start a label, what motivates you? And I said, my mom, and my mom's name is Rosa. So House of Rose. Oh, she's still alive. She ain't dead. She's still alive. I've said, well, rest in peace. No. She's still alive. But you can check out, like I said, you check out my label House of Rose, and like stuff that I've done. Like I said, just type in R period, E period, D period. Like I say, either Traxsource, Beatport, Juno. I'm pretty much out there, So, but you anything to add? Are you good?
I would just say thank you so much, Dan, for literally shining a light on the Jacksonville scene. It is definitely one that I feel is kind of overlooked, because when people do think of house music do you think of the larger cities, but it is very a beautiful thing that you did reach out and shed this light on this scene. It is definitely a growing scene. I'm honored to be a part of, and I can't wait to see what it actually entails in the later months to come.
Yep.
To be fair and to be transparent, I really have to thank Joy, because Joy is the one who brought you to my attention. And she's,
Okay.
like I say,
Thank
you
you, Joy.
see me, you see
Thank you,
me,
Joy.
I'm sort of like sort of the mouthpiece, so to speak.
Okay.
But you got to know that I have a behind the scenes team that is like always scouting, always looking, always on point. So
Awesome.
I just have to bring that. And then, of course, she introduced me to KGB, but I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, you good?
Any final thoughts or things? Want to share anything we didn't cover? Any final thoughts? Anybody?
Just another thank you, and thank you if you've been watching the whole time. Thank you for
Mhm.
listening, and hopefully we'll see you in Jacksonville soon.
Okay. All right. Contact one more time. Contact information, support, follow. How do they do it? KGB. How do people keep up with you?
Well, on Twitch, Killer Green Beats. I spelled it out earlier. KILLA Green Beats BEATZ. You can look me up there. Facebook, Keith G. Benjamin. That's my government, KGB.
Okay.
All right.
Adomni.
Yeah, so you can look me up on Facebook as Alex Dominguez or Adomni, or I look up DJ Adomni. And, my contact information is there. If you need to reach out, I would love to talk. And yeah, reach out. We're about house music.
Build on house music. Yes, sir.
RED. Real every day.
Yep, that's what I try to be. You can just reach me at Herman Red Orphy on Facebook.
Spell it,
You can
please.
also, huh?
Spell it.
Oh, RED.
Know what I mean?
No.
What?
No.
You know what?
IT. Spell it. Boom. Anyway,
No,
you'll get these going home.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, Herman Red Orphy.
Okay, spell Orphy for us.
Oh,
That's
it's
what I meant.
spelled ORPHEY.
Okay.
You could also look up my fan page is Red Official. And then also we have Red Diamond Promotions. Like I said, you just Red Diamond Promotion. And then House of Rose, right?
Yeah.
And then House of Rose, you could just all you do, you type it on Facebook, it'll all come up. And
then Red Diamond Promotions is also on. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat.
yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Hey, listen, just real quick. Hey, Snapchat is a spot where you're gonna find younger people. Hey, all right.
Okay.
Well, folks, I just want to say thank you so much for coming out and hanging out.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just give a couple little shout outs here. Momo, thanks for hanging in there the whole show. Mitch, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Joy, I know you're in there somewhere. And just guys, I want to thank you so much for coming out and hanging out. Listen, it was a pleasure. And hopefully we get to get the word out a little bit, have a little fun, and just get it done here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, DJ Dan coming from I was laughing because I was just thinking of some things we talked about. I got to go back over that, and especially when we talked about the singing part. Anyway, anyway, I know my limitations. I'm gonna keep it real with you. All right.
Keep it real every day.
That's right. I have to be REOD then. No, that's okay. All right. Anyway.
Well done.
All right. Well, listen, folks, thanks for coming out and hanging out. My name is DJ Dan with Soulful House Nation, coming to you live from the 8th floor. Hey, this Monday we have Ron DJ Cadillac, and that's going to be another good show. Thank you for going back. Listen, we're going to be just a couple of things for those of you who don't know. We have a website, soulfulhousenation.com. We have we're on Facebook, Soulful House Nation, YouTube, Soulful House Nation. We're on Instagram, Soulful House Nation, and we're going to be we got a lot of stuff going on. We got a store going up called Shop at Soulful House Nation. That's up already. We're going to be doing a lot to promote that next year. So we're going to do a lot of different things. Part of what we want to do too, aside from merch, we also want to do music too. So just keep that in the front of your mind. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I am DJ Dan with Soulful House Nation. I'm coming to you live from the 8th floor. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace, everybody.
All right now.
We out.
All right. Dan. Okay, Dan. Appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us, my brother.
That was
Absolutely.
a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Me too. Take care.
All right. Ciao.